Everyone is familiar with the Statue of Liberty, but few are probably aware that for a few years early in its existence, it was also officially a lighthouse operated to be used as navigational aid for ships entering New York Harbor. The world's oldest existing lighthouse is considered to be the Tower of Hercules, built in Spain at La Coruña Harbor. Despite being built in the 1st century, it's still operational to this day. Lighthouses are painted differently to help mariners identify them during the day. Often referred to as day marks, diamonds, spirals and stripes, for example, help to distinguish from one another. Originally, lighthouses were lit merely with open fires, only later progressing through candles, lanterns and electric lights. Lanterns tended to use whale oil as fuel. The United States is home to more lighthouses than any other country. Otters like to stick together, so when they sleep they will wrap themselves in seaweed and sometimes hold hands to keep from floating away from each other. A group of resting otters is known as a raft. Sea otter fur is the densest of any mammal at about 1 million hairs per square inch. The otter is a very playful animal and are believed to take part in some activities just for the enjoyment. Sea otters can hold their breath underwater for more than 5 minutes, and river otters can hold theirs for up to 8. 13 different species of otter exist all around the world, and 90% of all sea otters live on the coast of Alaska. The silk in a spider's web is 5 times stronger than a strand of steel that is of the same thickness. This is even more impressive when you consider that a strand of spider silk is 1,000 times thinner than a strand of human hair. When a spider travels, it always has 4 legs touching the ground and 4 legs off the ground at any given moment. A spider's muscles pull its legs inward, but cannot extend its legs out again. Instead, it must pump a watery liquid into its legs to push them back out. The silk that comes out of the spider's spinneret is liquid, but hardens as soon as it comes in contact with air. Some spiders have up to 7 types of silk glands. There are approximately 38,000 known species of spiders. Scientists believe there are probably as many more to be discovered. Tennis was initially played by striking the ball with the palm of the hand. At that time it was named jeu de paume, game of the palm. Rackets came into use during the 16th century. Yellow tennis balls were introduced in 1972 by the International Tennis Federation because they were more visible on television. Before then, tennis balls used were usually white in color. The longest tennis match took 11 hours and 5 minutes to complete. It was played between John Isner and Nicholas Maheu over a course of 3 days. A tennis match takes roughly 2.5 hours on average, while the ball is only in play for approximately 20 minutes. The championships, Wimbledon, or just Wimbledon as it is more commonly referred to, is the oldest tennis tournament in the world. Tea has numerous health benefits, in particular, the less oxidized version of tea. Benefits such as lower risks of stroke, lower risk of depression, a reduced chance of heart disease or a lower risk of diabetes. Tea is known to be a natural source of fluoride. It helps protect against both tooth decay and gum disease. If your tea doesn't contain the leaves of Camellia sinensis, then it's not actually tea. It's known as tisane. Tisanes are similar in their processing and consumption and still steeped by adding hot water. Black tea is at one end of the strength spectrum as it undergoes the most oxidization process, producing a more potent flavor. White tea is on the other end, being the least oxidized. Tea is the second most consumed beverage on the planet, after water. It has even greater consumption than coffee.